Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, the Rumpled One, coming to you on Monday, July the 10th. The year's 2023. Let's talk trading. Trading with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine, different from Walmal. Walmal, looks like we've pretty much, the market on the pounds pretty much taken back all the up movement from Friday.
Yes, it does. It looks like we've basically fallen off a cliff, or in this case, it's sort of like, well, on Friday we climbed a mountain, we got up to that area of recent rarefied air. Of what was that area? We were just talking about 28, 45, 47, 48, that area, and I know in your charts, your daily candle didn't open up with much of a gap. Mine opened up with a big gap, but even so, both of our charts, it's fallen off the cliff there, and it's run pretty far down. We more than made it past the midpoint of Friday's candle, and it's right now kind of settling in a little bit here, but maybe it's going to go and stay here, or maybe it's going to go down. I don't know. But the thing is, so it's obvious that whatever forced it up on Friday is not holding water on Monday.
Yeah, probably an overreaction, or they wanted to quote unquote run the stops.
Yeah, and it's funny because it depends on which side of the fence that you're sitting on. That idea of running stops, because the couple of people that I knew that traded professionally in banks or whatever, they'd say that they're not running stops. What they're doing is they were in a position where, unfortunately, they got underwater, and what they would do is they would go and buy into that direction, whether it's a sell or a buy, but you push into that position so that you could lessen your load. Essentially what we call averaging in, and just so that they could get out of that bad position if necessary. And in the process of doing that, what is it going to do? Well, people are saying, hey, the market's going up. I'm going to put my stop down here. Here's a safe place. Meanwhile, these other guys are going and saying, hey, wait a second, I got caught short here. I'm in trouble. So I need to go and take my vast sums of money and just keep on buying in that position, and hopefully others will go and join me in that fight and push it into that direction. And then when that happens, they're able to get out. But unfortunately, the little guys like us, well, that's where we put our stops and we get cleared.
Yeah. Hey, what's funny? I'm looking here at the daily chart, and I've got the smart range up. Today's range is 88.9. The average range over the last 5,000 days is 84.5.
Yeah. Yep. It's the range over the last several months, going into probably 6 months, has been substantially lower. And if we remember, back around Christmas time or right before Christmas time, our ranges were pretty big, but they've all been reined in, which is just funny. Shows you how the market, does that. What's interesting to me.
You're talking about monthly range?
No, I was talking about daily range. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, but what's interesting to me is that, you get big runs of 100 pips runs, 120 pip runs, even 140 pip runs, and you'll get maybe sometimes a couple of weeks of those type of runs in a row, and then it oscillates back down to getting runs of 60 to 80 pip ranges. And what's interesting to me is that it usually doesn't fall in the middle. I don't know why, but it just doesn't seem to fall in the middle there. It goes from extreme to extreme. So I think that can be good for us as traders, because if we can recognize where we're at in that process, that may give us a hint as to, hey, if we're in a range right now where we just don't move very much, or in a time period, an era where we don't move very much, and we're at the end of that peak, that gives us a hint that, hey, maybe we don't want to go in and try to take a trade to extend. Why do we need to be on the bleeding edge of that? Let's go and wait for somebody else to go and die on that battlefield, and we can go and go and learn from his mistake and wait for it to actually change over.
Right.
And that's, and statistically we know that, for instance, today at 89, I got a range of 89 and we're in the 40th percentile. So that tells me, hey, we got lots more we can range. And I'm saying no, because, we had Friday and Thursday of last week with big ranges, but look at the rest of the week. Now, admittedly, last week was also a holiday week, but we're also in what we call the summer blues right now, where we don't get big ranges. And so, when I go back that many candles, I'm in the 40th percentile. But, for this time period, for where we're at, maybe 89, 90 is probably the maximum you get. I don't know. But then again, I'm only one pip above the low for the day. So what do I know?
Yeah. And also, we're coming up to the top of the hour in about 5 minutes. And on my chart, that means I'm going to have a new H4 candle because I had answered a trader's question about trading the H4 yesterday and also about trading the 50% retrace or looking for 50% retrace from 3-ball to 3-ball. So you can see here we had a 3-ball at the top, and before it there was a 3-ball at the bottom. And since obviously the prices dropped through the 3-ball at the bottom, it definitely made at least a 50% retrace there. So now we've got a 50% retrace all the way up to 127.87. So off of from this 3-ball to 3-ball. So we'll have to see what happens. Now, probably before it gets there, there's going to be, it'll probably put in another 3-ball, so it may or may not, but you can start to look for these retraces off of this bottom. And, it might even go down into the launch pad, and then we'll see what happens.
I took a trade to the north just now, which is kind of going against me. Well, it's not going against me in terms of dollars or anything, but it's going against my method a little bit because I only had a flip-flop box and my indicator 2 was right at my entry, so that was okay. But I did not get a state change, so I'm gonna keep this one tight. And if it breaks the bottom end of this flip-flop box, I'm just gonna get out, take a small loss.
Right. Now,
see what happens.
For anybody new tuning in, something that I came up with is called state change. And there's basically 4 states that a candle can be in. It can be an inside bar, it can be an outside bar, it can have higher high, higher low, or it can have a lower low and a lower high. And so that's what these stripes are. So right now, a red stripe means you're going to have, it's a lower high, lower low. And we just had a state change from red to green, and it looks like we're going to go back to red here.
Yep. Yeah, I took a 3-pip loss on that trade, and I went back in again, but this time in the other direction. And I got in 52.3. We'll see what it does. And unfortunately, I had a pip and a half, and I should have taken it, knowing that it was going to hit that 50 and have some trouble, but I didn't do it. I was hoping it was going to break the 50.
Is that part of your trading plan?
The hope part isn't, but but everything else was. It was state change, flip-flop box, and indicator 2, so it matched everything. But the hope part, no. Other than the fact that the hope part at 50 is that watch it and see what it does. Be cautious about it.
Right. Well, on my chart, it got down 49.9, which means it touched the launch pad. So we'll just have to wait and see here.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm kind of curious about something. Let's see. Oh, yeah. I'm really kicking myself now. We took out the pivot at 2801. We took out the weekly pivot at 2778. Oh, wow. And we're at S1, and the pivot trading plan says the bias is long near S1, and S1's at 2753. And we still have an H4 pivot all the way down at 2719. But yep, took out the daily, took out the weekly. And we've only missed the monthly now by 20 pips. So 2638. So that's definitely in the sights.
Excuse me.
Okay, top of the hour. And so we can look at a new H4 candle. And you know what's weird? This H4 candle gapped up on my chart.
Mine did not.
I don't think I've ever seen that. That's an anomaly. Well, I've got an open at 56 and the previous candle closed at 53. Wow, it's already hit the 60s. So Launchpad shot the price back up.
But I took my 1.5 before and just left it.
Oh,
so,
you got out of that trade at the 50?
Yeah, I punched out when it came down the second time. Gave me that 1.5 the second time and said, "Okay, I'm not. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me."
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people say, "Well, it's going to hit it again and then eventually break through." Yeah, you're right. There's a good chance it will. But the thing is, I don't need to be sitting there doing that. So for these two trades, I'm now down after commission and everything. I'm down 1.8 pips.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go short here. Only reason why is because it's a return bar, and if you get a big candle on the open of the hour, a lot of times it goes in reverses on the next candle. I don't know if it will or not. We'll see.
Yeah, and so for those who are just tuning in, what we call a return bar is when the range of a bar, or well, I guess you and I might have slightly different definitions.
We do.
But it's one that's a big candle. Just put it that way. So the body's big. I can't remember. Do you count the wicks?
I do not count the wick.
Yeah,
I only look at the body.
Yeah, I don't count. Okay, so I guess we do it the same because I don't count the wicks either. Hey, is this Go ahead.
The only thing I do differently is that what I do is I look at it from the perspective of if it's very large in comparison to all the other candles around it, whereas you try to specify it with an actual number.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, so for me on M1, if you get a range of, I think it's 5 pips or more on M1, to me that's a return bar. So that one was at 6.6 2 bars ago, so that puts it in the 98th percentile. So yeah, that's a return bar.
I'm going to get out pretty soon. Yeah, I got out and I picked up 3 pips. So
yeah, so you can see here.
All 3 trades I'm only up yet, but hey, sometimes that's the way trading goes, right?
Right.
But the thing is, I was able to make up my loss.
Exactly, that's what's important. And you know what, Walmal, the fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. So, fellow traders, once again, we kind of showed you what we do. Hope I answered any questions again on the 3-ball and the H4 candle trades. H4 candle trades are just trading out of that previous H4 wick zones. So when you're trading, always remember and never forget, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.